His first collaboration with Scorsese was Mean Streets, where he played small-time criminal Johnny Boy. Stardom followed his role as young Vito Corleone in Francis Ford crime epic The Godfather Part II. Welcome to the Cinema Gold Show. I'm your host, Larry Elise. Today, we're talking Robert De Niro. But first, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Poddex, for sponsoring this episode. What is Poddex, you ask? That's a great question. Poddex are unique interview questions and episodes starting prompts in the palm of your hand. Whether you're a new podcaster or existing broadcaster looking to grow your audience or get more engagement, you're going to want to check out poddex.com and use the code Larry21 for 10% off your order. Now, without further ado, let's dive right into today's topic. Born in Manhattan, in New York City, De Niro studied acting at HB Studio, Stella Adler Conservatory, and Lee Strasberg's Actors Studio. His first major role was in Greetings and gained recognition with his role as a baseball player in the sports drama Bang the Drum Slowly. His first collaboration with Scorsese was Mean Streets, where he played small-time criminal Johnny Boy. Stardom followed his role as young Vito Corleone in Francis Ford crime epic The Godfather Part II, which won De Niro the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his portrayal of Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver, and a soldier in the Vietnam War drama Deer Hunter. He earned 2 nominations for the Academy Award for Best Actor. Let's take a look at his background. Robert De Niro was born in the Manhattan borough of New York City, the only child of painters Virginia Admiral and Robert De Niro Sr. His father was of Irish and Italian descent, while his mother had Dutch, English, French, and German ancestry. His parents, who had met at the painting classes of Hans Hofmann in Provincetown, Massachusetts, separated when he was 2 years old. After his father announced that he was gay, he was raised by his mother in the Greenwich Village and Little Italy neighborhoods of Manhattan. His father lived nearby and remained close with De Niro during his childhood. Nicknamed Bobby Milk because of his pale complexion, De Niro befriended many street kids in Little Italy, much to the disapproval of his father. Some, however, have remained lifelong friends. His mother was raised Presbyterian but became an atheist as an adult, while his father had been a lapsed Catholic since the age of 12. Against his parents' wishes, his grandparents had De Niro secretly baptized into the Catholic Church while he was staying with them during his parents' divorce. De Niro attended PS 41, a public elementary school in Manhattan. Through the 6th grade, he began acting classes at the Dramatic Workshop and made his stage debut in school at age 10, playing the Cowardly Lion in The Wizard of Oz. He later went to Elizabeth Irwin High School, the upper school of the Little Red Schoolhouse, for the 7th and 8th grades. He was then accepted in the High School of Music and Art for the 9th grade, but only attended for a short time before transferring to a public junior high school, IS 71. Charles Evan Hughes Junior High School. De Niro attended high school at McBurney School and later Rhodes Preparatory School. He found performing as a way to relieve his shyness and became fascinated by the cinema, so he dropped out of high school at 16 to pursue acting. He later said, quote, "When I was around 18, I was looking at a TV show and I said, these actors are making a living at it and they're not really that good. I can't do any worse than them." He studied acting at HB Studio and the Actors Studio. De Niro also studied with Stella Adler Conservatory, where he was exposed to the techniques of the Stanislavski system. Hopefully I said that right. As a young actor, De Niro was inspired by the work of Marlon Brando, James Dean, and Kim Stanley. De Niro had minor film roles in Encounter, 3 Rooms in Manhattan. Shortly afterward, De Niro landed a major role in Greetings, a satirical film about men avoiding the Vietnam War draft. The film marked the first of a series of early collaborations between De Niro and director Brian De Palma. A year later, De Niro appeared in the drama Sam's Song, in which he portrays a New York City filmmaker. Also in 1969, he appeared in the comedy The Wedding Party. Although it was filmed in 1963, it was kept unreleased for 6 years. De Niro, who was still unknown at the time, gained a favorable review from the New York Times' Howard Thompson, saying, quote, "This comedy, modestly produced by a trio of young people and utilizing some unfamiliar faces, is great fun." He then appeared in Roger Corman's low-budget crime drama, Bloody Mama, a loose adaptation of Ma Barker's life, who was the mother of 4 American criminals, of which De Niro portrayed one, Lloyd Barker. Thompson praised the film and thought the cast gave fine performances. Next, De Niro starred in De Palma's comedy Hi Ma, a sequel to Greetings. Writing for The New Yorker, Richard Brody opined that De Niro, quote, "brings unhinged spontaneity to his character." He also had a small role in Jennifer on My Mind, and in Ivan Passer's Born to Win in 1971. His last film appearance of 1971 was in The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight, crime comedy based on the 1969 novel of the same name by Jimmy Breslin. In 1972, De Niro started 2 performances at the American Place Theater, directed by Charles Marion. He then returned to the big screen with Bang the Drum Slowly, in which he played the lead role as Bruce Pearson, a Major League Baseball player with Hodgkin disease. His co-stars were Michael Moriarty and Vincent Gardenia. Adapted from the 1956 novel of the same name by Mark Harris, this film received critical acclaim and helped De Niro gain further recognition. The Hollywood Reporter wrote, "De Niro proves himself to be one of the best and most likable young actors in movies with this performance." Variety magazine's Alex Beth also took note of De Niro's touching portrayal, where Gardenia was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Harris later wrote about De Niro, "He learned only as much baseball as he needed for his role. I doubt that he ever cared to touch a baseball again." In 1973, De Niro began collaborating with Martin Scorsese when he appeared in the crime film Mean Streets. Co-starring Harvey Keitel, although De Niro was offered a choice of roles, Scorsese wanted De Niro to play Johnny Boy, a small-time criminal working his way up a local mob. While De Niro and Keitel were given the freedom to improvise certain scenes, assistant director Ron Satloff recalls De Niro was extremely serious, involved in his role and preparation. He became isolated from the rest of the cast and crew. Mean Streets debuted at the Cannes Film Festival, followed by the New York Film Festival 5 months later, to a generally warm response. Film critic Roger Ebert thought De Niro gave a marvelous performance filled with urgency and restless desperation. The New York Times was equally impressed by De Niro, writing that De Niro is a bravura actor, and those who have registered him only as the grinning, tobacco-chewing dolt of that hunk of inept whimsy, Bang the Drum Slowly, will be unprepared for his volatile performance. De Niro does something like what Dustin Hoffman was doing in Midnight Cowboy, but wilder. This kid doesn't just act, he takes off into the vapors. In 1997, Mean Streets was selected for preservation in the U.S. National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. Now we're going to take a little look into De Niro's legacy. Several journalists consider De Niro to be among the best actors of his generation. A.O. Scott said that De Niro was transforming himself physically, vocally, psychologically with each new role, and in the process, before our eyes, reinventing the art of acting. As early as 1977, Newsweek remarked that the actor gives you the shock of becoming a metamorphosis that can be thrilling, moving, or frightening. Biographer Douglas Brody praises De Niro's versatility and ability to inhabit any role, although Pauline Kael once said in 1983 that she did not like how the actor was disfiguring himself in films such as Raging Bull. When asked why he undertook such roles, De Niro responded, quote, "to totally submerge into another character and experience life through him, without having to risk the real-life consequences. Well, it's a cheap way to do things that you would never dare to do yourself." In 2009, he was announced as one of the Kennedy Center honorees with the commemoration, one of America's greatest cinematic actors. Robert De Niro has demonstrated a legendary commitment to his characters and has co-founded one of the world's major film festivals. Martin Scorsese and Meryl Streep honored him at the event. 2016, he received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Barack Obama, saying, quote, "Everybody on this stage has touched me in a very powerful, very personal way. These are folks who have helped me make who I am." White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest added, quote, "There is no arguing that the individuals who will be honored today are richly deserving." Many of De Niro's films have become classics of American cinema, with 6 of his films inducted into the U.S. National Film Registry as of 2020. 5 of his films are featured on the American Film Institute's list of the 100 greatest American films of all time. De Niro and James Stewart share the title for the most films represented on the AFI list. Time magazine's list of 100 best movies included 7 of De Niro's films, as chosen by actors in the industry. In 2006, De Niro donated his collection of film-related materials, such as scripts, wardrobe pieces, and props, to the Harry Ransom Center at the University of Texas at Austin. The collection, which took more than 2 years to process and catalog, opened to the public in 2009. In October 2003, De Niro was diagnosed with prostate cancer. He underwent surgery at the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in December 2003. De Niro is a long-term resident of New York City and has been investing in Manhattan's Tribeca neighborhood since 1989. He has properties on the east and west sides of Manhattan and an estate in Gardner, New York, which serves as his primary residence. In 2006, De Niro received Italian citizenship, despite opposition by the Sons of Italy, who believe that De Niro damaged the public image of Italians by portraying criminals. In October 2018, De Niro was targeted by an explosive device. The device was found at the Tribeca Grill, which also houses his production company in Manhattan. According to the FBI, similar devices were sent to high-profile politicians, including Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, former Attorney General Eric Holder, former CIA Director John Brennan. De Niro married actress Diane Abbott in 1976. They have a son, Raphael, a former actor who works in New York real estate. De Niro also adopted Abbott's daughter, Drana De Niro, from a previous relationship. He and Abbott divorced in 1988. Afterward, he was in a relationship with model Tukey Smith between 1988 and 1996. De Niro has twin sons, Julian and Aaron, conceived by in vitro fertilization and delivered by a surrogate mother in 1995. In 1997, De Niro married actress Grace Hightower. Their son Elliot was born in 1998, and the couple split the year after. The divorce was never finalized, and in 2004, they renewed their vows. In December 2011, their daughter was born via surrogate. In 2014, he and Hightower moved into a 6,000 square foot, 5-bedroom apartment at 15 Central Park West. 4 years later, it was reported De Niro and Hightower had separated after 20 years of marriage. De Niro has 4 grandchildren, 1 from his daughter Drena and 3 from his son Raphael. On April 19, 2021, De Niro's lawyer argued in a virtual divorce hearing presided by a Manhattan judge that her client is working at an unsustainable pace in order to support Hightower and pay off all his back taxes. Hightower's lawyer claimed that since the pair filed for divorce in 2018, De Niro had been unfairly decreasing the agreed-upon payments to his estranged wife. The film industry is quite complex and beautiful, as you just heard. Every movie scene can be analyzed in a different way. Every TV show episode can be interpreted in a different way. We all have our favorites, but we should conclude that there is some amazing content ready to be explored and loved. We at the Cinema Gold Show are here to bring you valuable information about this industry and help you appreciate it even more. You can check us out on social media to stay current with all our content. Find us on Twitter at CinemaGold2, should be Cinema Gold Show for Twitter, and on Instagram at the Cinema Gold Podcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.